Witajcie znowu na pokładzie. Czy jesteście gotowi na kolejną przygodę w świecie Mass Effect? Zatem kontynuujmy podróż. No to zaczynamy.
I've got big news for you, Shepard. Captain Anderson is stepping down as commanding officer of the Normandy. The ship is yours now.
She's quick and quiet, and you know the crew. Perfect ship for a Spectre. Treat her well, Commander.
Co się dzieje?
I want the truth. Why are you stepping down, sir?
You needed your own ship. A Spectre can't answer to anyone but the Council. And it's time for me to step down.
W tym jest coś jeszcze.
Come clean with me, Captain. You owe me that much.
I was in your shoes 20 years ago, Shepard. They were considering me for the Spectres.
Co poszło nie tak?
What happened?
I failed. I couldn't make the cut. It's not something I'm proud of. Ask me later and I'll tell you the whole story. For now, all you need to know is, I was sent on a mission with Saren, and he made sure the Council rejected me. I had my shot. It came and went. Now you have a chance to make up for my mistakes.
Jakieś wieści o Sarenie?
What kind of leads do we have?
Saren's gone. Don't even try to find him. But we know what he's after. The conduit. He's got his Geth scouring the Traverse looking for clues.
We had reports of Geth in the Pharaoh system shortly before our colony there dropped out of contact, and there have been sightings around Noveria.
Find out what Saren was after on Pharos and Noveria. Maybe you can figure out where the conduit is before he does.
A co ze żniwiarzami?
The Reapers are the real threat.
I'm with the Council on this one, Shepard. I'm not sure they even exist.
But if they do exist, the conduit's the key to bringing them back. Stop Saren from getting the conduit, and we stop the Reapers from returning.
Możecie na mnie liczyć.
I'll stop him.
We have one more lead. Matriarch Benezia, the other voice on that recording. She has a daughter, a scientist who specializes in the Protheans. We don't know if she's involved, but it might be a good idea to try and find her. See what she knows. Her name's Liara, Dr. Liara Tassoni. We have reports she was exploring an archaeological dig on one of the uncharted worlds in the Artemis Tau cluster.
Może zacznę tam.
Sounds like we should head for the Artemis Tau cluster.
It's your decision, Commander. You're a Spectre now. You don't answer to us.
Your actions still reflect on humanity as a whole. You make a mess and I get stuck cleaning it up.
Będę uważać.
I'll try not to make things any harder on you, Ambassador.
Glad to hear it, Commander. Remember, you were a human long before you were a Spectre. I have a meeting to get to. Captain Anderson can answer any questions you might have.
Yes, Commander?
Nic ci nie jest?
How are you holding up?
Honestly, this isn't how I pictured my career coming to an end. Pushing papers really isn't my thing. But you're the one who can stop Saren. I believe in you, Shepard. If that means I have to step aside, so be it.
Ty i Saren macie jakieś zaszłości.
Tell me what happened with you and Saren 20 years ago.
It's close to 20 years ago now. Ambassador Goyle was our representative here on the Citadel. Like Udina, she wanted to get a human into the Spectres. She chose me. The Council sent Saren to keep an eye on me and evaluate my performance, just like they sent Nihilus to keep tabs on you.
Co się stało?
I think I deserve the whole story.
We had intel on a rogue scientist being funded by Batarian interests. He was trying to set up a facility to develop illegal AI technology out in the Verge. Alliance intel had done all the work, but the Council wanted a Spectre involved. We compromised. I was assigned to help Saren in his investigation. We tracked the scientist to a refining facility on Kamala. He was hidden away somewhere inside, protected by an army of Batarian mercenaries. The plan was simple. Sneak into the plant, capture the scientist, sneak back out. Quick, quiet, and a minimum of bloodshed.
Coś poszło źle?
I'm guessing things didn't go as planned?
Saren and I split up to cover more ground. Then about halfway through the mission, there was a massive explosion in the refinery core. Officially, it was ruled an accident, but I think Saren detonated it on purpose to draw off the enemy guards.
Ktoś został ranny?
How many casualties?
The explosion tore the refinery to shreds. The whole place was on fire. Black chemical clouds poured out into the atmosphere. Nobody inside survived. There was a camp for the workers and their families nearby. Between the fires and the toxic fumes, the final death count was over 500. Mostly civilians. Saren didn't care. The target was eliminated, mission accomplished. And I ended up taking the blame. That ended all talk of me joining the Spectres.
Oskarżono pana?
Saren caused the explosion. How'd he pin it on you?
In his report, Saren accused me of blowing his cover. He said it was my fault the guards were ready for us. He claimed that's why it turned into a massacre. Saren's report was all the proof the Council needed to kill my chances of becoming a Spectre.
To nie była twoja wina.
Don't blame yourself, Captain.
I don't. I blame Saren. I think he wanted things to go bad. He was looking for an excuse to blow that refinery. Maybe he just likes the violence. Maybe he was just trying to make me look bad to keep humans out of the Spectres. If so, he pulled it off.
To nieuczciwe.
Why'd you let him get away with it?
Who do you think the Council was going to listen to? Me? Or their best agent? I had a bad feeling about him right from the start. I should have been more careful. Maybe I could have stopped things before they got out of hand.
To nie była twoja wina.
Don't blame yourself, Captain.
I don't. I blame Saren. I think he wanted things to go bad. He was looking for an excuse to blow that refinery. Maybe he just likes the violence. Maybe he was just trying to make me look bad to keep humans out of the Spectres. If so, he pulled it off.
To bez znaczenia.
The only thing I care about is stopping Saren.
You're right, Commander. It's no good living in the past.
Feros.
Any extra intel you can give me on our colony at Pharos?
The entire planet used to be one giant Prothean city. Mostly ruins now. But some of the infrastructure is still intact. The colony tried to build on what the Protheans left behind. We lost all contact with them when the Geth attacked.
Gromada Artemis Tau.
What do you know about the Artemis Tau cluster?
Not much. I've never been there myself. A handful of systems with a few small, uncharted worlds, but no real colonies. Might not be easy finding Dr. T'Soni out there. My advice is to look for the world with the Prothean ruins.
Noveria.
What can you tell me about Noveria?
Novaria's trouble. Always has been. The whole planet's basically a center for corporations to conduct illegal research. Watch your back there, Shepard. Spectres are about the only form of Citadel authority Noveria respects. But they aren't popular.
Pracował pan z widmami.
I want to know the truth about you and Saren. I want to know about the mission you were on together all those years ago.
We had intel on a rogue scientist being funded by Batarian interests. He was trying to set up a facility to develop illegal AI technology out in the Verge. Alliance intel had done all the work, but the Council wanted a Spectre involved. We compromised. I was assigned to help Saren in his investigation. We tracked the scientist to a refining facility on Kamala. He was hidden away somewhere inside, protected by an army of Batarian mercenaries. The plan was simple. Sneak into the plant, capture the scientist, sneak back out. Quick, quiet, and a minimum of bloodshed.
To bez znaczenia.
The only thing I care about is stopping Saren.
You're right, Commander. It's no good living in the past.
Do widzenia.
I should go.
I'll be here if you need anything.
Sprawdźmy jeszcze leksykon. Obce rasy nie wchodzące w skład Rady. Batarianie. We wczesnych latach 60. XX wieku przymierze rozpoczęło agresywną kolonizację światów na skaliańskim pograniczu. Wywołało to niechęć Batarian, którzy od kilku dekad pracowali nad kolonizacją regionu. W 2171 roku Batarianie wynieśli do Rady petycję, by uznać pogranicze strefą interesów batariańskich. Rada odmówiła, przyzwalając na kolonizację sektora. W ramach protestu Batarianie zamknęli swą ambasadę na Cytadeli i zerwali stosunki dyplomatyczne z Radą. Stali się tym samym społecznością niezrzeszoną. Kryzys narastał. Batarianie zainicjowali serię potyczek na pograniczu, udostępniając sprzęt i środki organizacjom przestępczym wrogo nastawionym do ludzi. Sytuacja osiągnęła punkt krytyczny zwany skaliańskiego blitzu, zwanego też najazdem skaliańskim, który miał miejsce w 2176 roku. Rozpoczął się on atakiem na ludzką stolicę Elysium, przeprowadzonym za batariańskie pieniądze. W 2178 roku przymierze odpowiedziało miażdżącym atakiem na księżyc Torfan. Po tym ataku Batarianie wycofali się z pogranicza i teraz rzadko pokazują się w przestrzeni Cytadeli. Dobra. Planety i inne lokalizacje. W galaktyce istnieje około 400 miliardów gwiazd. Zbadano lub chociaż odwiedzono dotąd mniej niż 1% z nich. Rozpoczynając ekspansję na terawersie atykańskim, ludzkość eksplorowała bardzo chaotycznie. Zignorowano tysiące mniej przyjaznych światów, które posiadały ogromne bogactwa surowcowe. Bogactwa te wciąż czekają na korporacyjne grupy badawcze lub niezależnych inwestorów. Nim to nastąpi, może minąć wiele lat. Niezbadany świat może także stanowić bazę operacyjną dla kryminalistów lub innych grup, które zechcą pozostać w ukryciu przed galaktyczną wspólnotą. Feros to jedna z planet w Układzie Atykańskim Beta. 2/3 powierzchni pokrywają ruiny dawnego megapolis Protean. Od czasu zniknięcia pradawnej rasy ruiny te wielokrotnie padały łupem grabieżców. Feros uznano za świat, który nie daje perspektyw kolonizacyjnych. Jedyne źródło świeżej wody znajduje się na biegunach, do których podłączone są niszczące akwedukty, pamiętające jeszcze czasy Protean. Gigantyczne ruiny nie dają gwarancji stabilności. Powierzchnię planety pokrywa wielometrowa warstwa gruzu, natomiast powietrze jest zanieczyszczone przez pył. W roku 2178 korporacja Exogeni rozpoczęła procedury kolonizacyjne Feros, aby gruntownie zbadać ruiny. Pionierska placówka została założona na górnych kondygnacjach kilku nietkniętych drapaczy chmur. Załoga wykorzystała wodę z akweduktów oraz ogrodów hydroponicznych, założonych na dachach wieżowców.
Stand by, shore party. Decontamination in progress. Decontamination in progress. Decontamination in progress. Decontamination in progress.
I heard what happened to Anderson. Survives 100 battles and then gets taken down by backroom politics. Just watch your back, Commander. Things go bad on this mission, you're next on their chopping block.
Jestem gotowy.
Saren's out there somewhere, and we're gonna find him.
Everyone on this ship's behind you, Commander. 100%. Intercom's open. If you got anything you want to say to the crew, now's the time.
Muszę być z nimi szczera.
This is Commander Shepard speaking. We have our orders. Find Saren before he finds the conduit. I won't lie to you, crew. This mission isn't going to be easy.
Ludzkość musi odegrać swoją rolę.
For too long, our species has stood apart from the others. Now it's time for us to step up and do our part for the rest of the galaxy. Time to show them what humans are made of.
Saren będzie na nas przygotowany.
Our enemy knows we're coming. When we go into the Traverse, Saren's followers will be waiting for us. But we'll be ready for them, too.
Wszyscy na nas liczą.
Humanity needs to do this. Not just for our own sake, but for the sake of every other species in Citadel space. Saren must be stopped, and I promise you all, we will stop him.
Well said, Commander. Captain would be proud.
Nie zawiodę go.
The captain gave up everything so I could have this chance. We can't fail.
Yes, ma'am. Commander, something you need?
Raport stanu statku.
How's the Normandy performing? Is she everything they said she'd be?
She's the best ship in the fleet. If you've got a pilot who knows how to handle her. Balance isn't what you'd expect. Takes a while to get used to that oversized drive core we got stuffed in the back, and her power can sneak up on you if you're not careful. The Normandy's probably too much ship for your average Alliance pilot, Commander. Lucky for you, I'm anything but average.
Chcę tylko porozmawiać.
I like to know my crew. Mind if I ask you a few questions?
I can see where this is going. You did a background check on me, didn't you? Well, I'll tell you the same thing I told the captain. You want me as your pilot. I'm not good. I'm not even great. I am the best damn helmsman in the Alliance fleet. Top of my class in flight school, I earned that. All those commendations in my file, I earned every single one. Those weren't given to me as charity for my disease.
Nie chciałam cię urazić.
I'm sorry, Joker. I didn't even know you were sick.
You mean you didn't know? Oh, crap. Okay, I've got Vrolik syndrome, brittle bone disease. The bones in my legs never develop properly. They're basically hollow, too much force and they'll shatter. Even with crutches and my leg braces, it's hard to get around. One wrong step and crack! It's very dramatic, but I've learned to manage my condition, Commander. Put the Normandy in my hands and I'll make her dance for you. Just don't ask me to get up and dance unless, you like the sound of snapping shin bones.
Jak zyskałeś swój przydomek?
Why does everyone call you Joker?
It's a lot shorter than saying Alliance Flight Lieutenant Jeff Moreau. Plus, I love to make little children laugh.
To nie jest odpowiedź.
You're dodging the question.
Look, I didn't pick the name. One of the instructors in flight school used to bug me about never smiling. She started calling me Joker, and it stuck.
Byłeś nieszczęśliwy?
Why didn't you ever smile?
Hey, I worked my ass off in flight school, Commander. The world's not gonna hand you anything if you go around grinning like an idiot. By the end of the year, I was the best pilot in the academy, even better than the instructors, and everybody knew it. They'd all got their asses kicked by the sickly kid with the creaky little legs. One guess who was smiling at graduation?
Opowiedz mi o swojej chorobie.
I need to know more about this Vrolik syndrome if I'm putting my ship in your hands.
Yeah, of course you do. It's an extremely rare condition. Nobody knows exactly what causes it. Genetic, maybe. It's treatable, but there's no cure. They classify my case as moderate to severe. I was born with over a dozen fractures, hip, thighs, ankles. My bones were already breaking in the womb. 100 years ago, I wouldn't have survived past my first year. Lucky for me, modern medical science has turned me into a productive member of society.
Jak sobie radzisz ze swoją robotą?
You're not gonna break a bone trying to fly the ship, are you?
I don't fly with my feet, Commander, so I'm fine as long as I'm in this chair. I gotta be real careful when I get up to take a piss, though. I can do my job as well as anyone on the ship. Better, actually. So don't worry about it.
Zmieńmy temat.
I'm not trying to make you uncomfortable. Let's talk about something else.
Whatever you want, Commander.
Historia osobista.
How'd you end up joining the Alliance?
Look, if you're looking for an inspirational tale of the crippled kid overcoming impossible odds, you're gonna be disappointed. My mother was a civilian contractor working for the Alliance. I basically grew up on the Arcturus station back when they were building up the fleets. Spend all that time around Alliance ships, there's a good chance you'll end up going to the Academy.
Do widzenia.
I have to go.
Alright, see ya.
Noweria, zainteresowanie getów. Ruszaj na Nowerię. Skieruj się na Nowerię, aby zbadać doniesienia obecności getów. Feros, atak getów. Ruszaj na Feros. Zbadaj Feros, aby sprawdzić, dlaczego kolonia została zaatakowana przez gety. Znać wiarę Tisoni. Udaj się na niezbadane światy Artemis Tau w poszukiwaniu Liary Tisoni. Cytadela i rząd galaktyczny. Stacja Cytadela, mgławica węża. Cytadela otoczona jest błękitną mgławicą refleksyjną. Światło mgławicy jest tak naprawdę światłem samej Cytadeli, rozproszonym i odbitym z powrotem w kierunku stacji. Z początku sądzono, że mgławica węża składa się z mikroskopijnych cząsteczek gruzu. Wedle powszechnie uznawanej teorii, w Proteanie korzystali z nanotechnologii molekularnej, by produkować niebywale trwałe materiały konstrukcyjne użyte przy budowie cytadeli. W przeciwieństwie do innych mgławic, mgławica węża nie zanika z czasem, więc musi być w jakiś sposób zasilana. Według najbardziej popularnej teorii, nie nadające się do powtórnego wykorzystania odpady gromadzone przez opiekunów cytadeli są w jakiś sposób rozbijane na atomy bądź molekuły i wystrzeliwane w kierunku obłoków tworzących mgławicę. Gęsta mgławica stwarza zagrożenie nawigacyjne. Poza relatywnie przejrzystymi obszarami naokoło cytadeli, wyładowywania elektryczne występują dosyć często, ponieważ nie blokują ich bariery kinetyczne. Mogą wyrządzić poważne szkody statkom kosmicznym o metalowej konstrukcji. Ponadto gęste obłoki pyłu mogą zniwelować odpychanie barier kinetycznych, monotonnych na mniejszych statkach. Jeśli taki statek porusza się w danym momencie z wystarczającą prędkością, efekt jest zbliżony do trafienia z piaskera. Próba dotarcia do cytadeli poprzez nawigowanie przez otwartą przestrzeń kosmiczną nie jest skazana. Jedyna bezpieczna droga wiedzie przez orbitujące wokół stacji przekaźniki mas. Może poznam trochę członków mojej załogi w sumie, moich towarzyszy broni. Zacznę od Persleya, najpierw z nim pogadam.
If anyone has to take over for Captain Anderson, I'm glad it's you. I'm not sure about having non-humans on our ship, though.
Są po naszej stronie.
We're all on the same team here, Presley.
With all due respect, ma'am, that's what they said about Nihilus. Look how that turned out.
Kwestionujesz moje decyzje?
I'm in charge here, Presley. I decide if we have non-humans on this vessel.
Yes, ma'am. Understood, ma'am.
Dobra, obcy na statku.
Speak freely, Presley. I want to know if you have a problem with non-humans.
It's not that, Commander. Humanity has always handled its own problems. Saren attacked one of our colonies. We should be the ones to stop him. We don't need their help.
Nigdy nie odrzucaj oferty pomocy.
Some people think asking for help is a sign of weakness. That's just being stupid and stubborn. No matter how strong you are, allies can make you stronger.
I guess so. Maybe I'm just stuck in the old ways of thinking. But don't worry, Commander. This won't be a problem.
Mam pytanie osobiste.
How did you end up assigned to the Normandy?
I signed up with the Alliance as a navigator right out of school, following in my grandfather's footsteps, I guess. My first posting was on the Agincourt. We were one of the first reinforcements to arrive at Elysium after the Blitz hit. Those raiders were no match for an Alliance frigate. Of course, the only reason the colony was still standing was because of you, Commander. I can't believe you held out as long as you did.
A teraz jesteście tutaj?
How'd you end up on the Normandy?
I got my officer's commission after Elysium. Must have made an impression on the right people. Captain asked for me when he was picking his crew.
Do widzenia.
Carry on, Presley.
Yes, ma'am.
Sprawdźmy leksykon. Ludzkość i przymierze systemów. Stosunki dyplomatyczne ludzi. Ludzkość na swej drodze napotkała wiele gatunków. Wojny nie były częste. Brak zaufania za to jest powszechny. Z punktu widzenia polityki, przymierze jest pokojowym partnerem handlowym. Turian. W praktyce jednak istnieje spora doza wrogości i nieszczerości pomiędzy tymi dwiema populacjami w kontekście wojny pierwszego kontaktu z roku 2157. Przymierze jest w dobrych stosunkach z Asari, choć prywatnie wielu uważa matki za istoty zbyt nieufne i arystokratyczne. Ludzie wierzą, że Salarianom nie można bezwarunkowo ufać. Ich niespokojny i beztroski tryb życia czyni z nich naturalnych sprzymierzeńców przeciw konserwatywnym Turianom i Asari. Kroganie nie posiadają jednolitej formy rządu. Pojedyncze osobniki postrzegane są na ogół jako potencjalni przestępcy, a Kroganie chętnie wpasowują się w taki schemat wizerunkowy. Przymierze nie utrzymuje formalnych kontaktów z Quarianami. Flota migracyjna jak dotąd nie dotarła do żadnego z systemów zamieszkiwanych przez ludzi. Batarianie to rywale w walce o kontrolę nad skylańskim pograniczem. Zerwali traktaty z Cytadelą, aby móc toczyć swój konflikt kolonialny z przymierzem. Wojny oficjalnie nie ma, ale do pokoju też jest bardzo daleko. Dalej. Zerkniemy jeszcze planety i inne lokacje. Stacja Arcturus. Stacja Arcturus stanowi bramę do Układu Słonecznego i jest stacją kosmiczną typu Stanford-Turus o średnicy 5 km. Umieszczona jest w punkcie liberacyjnym gazowego olbrzyma Temis. Stację Arcturus budowano od 2151 do 2162. Została uroczyście otwarta w 2156 i służy jako wojskowe oraz polityczne centrum dowodzenia przymierza systemów od czasów wojny pierwszego kontaktu po dzień dzisiejszy. Gdy ludzkość uruchomiła przekaźnik masy Harona w roku 2149, za jego pomocą dotarła do Arcturusa, gwiazdy znajdującej się 36 lat świetlnych od Układu Słonecznego. Arcturus jest trzecią najjaśniejszą gwiazdą widzianą z Ziemi. Jest to niezwykle stary, czerwony olbrzym z generacji gwiazd powstałych przed ziemskim Słońcem. Otaczające go światy to gazowe olbrzymy bądź bryły lodu. Wprawdzie występują szczątki skał, ale zawartość metali jest o 25% niższa od normy. Aby zbudować stację Arcturus, bogate w metale asteroidy były holowane przez przekaźniki masy na miejsce budowy. Wiele z tych asteroid nadal znajduje się w pobliżu stacji, a ich przeorane obszary stanowią miejsce zamieszkania migracyjnych populacji. Koszty transportu materiałów budowlanych do systemu zostały uznane za akceptowalne ze względu na niezwykłą wartość strategiczną położenia przyszłej stacji. Posiadając 3 podstawowe przekaźniki masy oraz jeden wtórny, który połączony jest z Układem Słonecznym, Arcturus stanowi niezmiernie istotny punkt przewężenia komunikacyjnego i wojskowego. Pierwsza flota przymierza stacjonuje na Arcturusie, skąd może strzec bram do Układu Słonecznego i reagować na wrogie akcje ofensywne w 3 połączonych gromadach. Na stacji mieści się również Parlament Przymierza Systemów oraz kwatera główna dowodzenia wojsk Przymierza Systemów. Stacja ma stałą populację około 45 000 mieszkańców. Gwiazda Arcturus stanowi w rzeczywistości element galaktycznej aureoli, czyli gromady 52 gwiazd, które przecinają tarczę galaktyki. Za 1 miliard lat Arcturus będzie żeglował przez niezmierzone otchłanie pozagalaktycznej ciemnej przestrzeni. Dalej. Planety, inne lokacje, jeszcze nie mam Noverię. Noveria to zimny, skalisty świat. Większość wody na planecie przyjmuje formę lodowców. Jest to prywatna kolonia. Planeta jest własnością holdingu Noveria Development Corporation NDC i jest sponsorowana przez ponad 20 korporacji i zarządzana przez Radę Wykonawczą, która reprezentuje interesy tychże firm. Inwestorzy zbudowali ultralaby w różnych odizolowanych miejscach na powierzchni Noverii. Laboratoriów tych używa się do prowadzenia badań na tyle trudnych bądź kontrowersyjnych, że nie można ich przeprowadzić w przestrzeni cytadeli. Noveria bowiem posiada ogromną autonomię i jako taka nie podlega prawu stanowionemu przez Radę. Na podstawie specjalnej umowy agenci Wydziału Wywiadu i działań militarno-obronnych zachowali przywileje. Jednak trudno zweryfikować, w jakim stopniu Rada Wykonawcza będzie tych ustaleń przestrzegać. Specyficzna sytuacja Noverii sprawia, że mieszkańcy kolonii często są wikłani w różnego rodzaju spiski. Miałem jeszcze statki i pojazdy, technologię podróży kosmicznej i poruszania się po lądzie. Mamy Normandia. Normandia to prototyp statku kosmicznego skonstruowany przez Przymierze Systemów we współpracy z Radą Cytadeli. Dzięki specyficznemu wyposażeniu jednostka ta została zoptymalizowana do misji zwiadowczych w niestabilnych regionach galaktyki. Większość okrętów pozostawia po sobie ciepło generowane podczas lotu, dzięki czemu stają się łatwo wykrywalne przez czujniki innych jednostek. Normandia może tymczasowo ukryć generowane ciepło wewnątrz kadłuba. W połączeniu z chłodzeniem zamontowanym na zewnętrznym poszyciu kadłuba statek może poruszać się niewykryty przez wiele godzin lub prowadzić rekonesans. Istnieje jednak pewne ryzyko. Magazynowane ciepło musi być w pewnym momencie oddane. Jeśli tak się nie stanie, temperatura wewnątrz statku spowoduje śmierć załogi. Kolejnym elementem systemów maskujących jest posiadany przez Normandię rewolucyjny napęd Tantala, posiadający dwukrotnie większy rdzeń niż standardowa jednostka napędowa. Silnik wydziela skondensowaną masę, w którą okręt się zapada, umożliwiając ruch bez wykorzystania generujących ciepło silników. A jeszcze dziennik sprawdzimy. Coś tu nowego mamy? A tak. Niezbadany świat zakładnik. Fanatyczni biotycy z gromady Hades Gamma porwali przewodniczącego parlamentarnej podkomisji do spraw studiów nad ludźmi i zaszyli się w porzuconym frachtowcu w systemie Farinata. Wejdź na pokład frachtowca. Odszukaj frachtowiec w systemie Farinata, gromady Hades Gamma i dotrzyj do biotyków znajdujących się na pokładzie. Z kim możemy na początek pogadać? O, z Kajdanem. Spoko. Siema, Kajdan.
Anything you need, Commander?
Interesują mnie odczucia załogi.
Just trying to get a sense of where the crew's at. Thoughts?
I've wasted enough of your time for now, Commander. We'll have time for personal debriefings later.
Ocena taktyczna?
What's your opinion on the last mission?
I don't see how we could have done things any better. At least not without getting to Eden Prime sooner. And we were on the scene faster than any other Alliance ship could have been.
Do widzenia.
We'll talk another time, Lieutenant.
Commander?
Sprawdźmy, czy ten leksykon. Ludzkość i przymierze systemów. Przymierze systemów N7. Wojskowy kodeks zawodowy przymierza klasyfikuje etapy kariery wszystkich członków personelu. System WKZ operuje jedną literą i jedną cyfrą, które oddają biegłość, a nie stopień. Litera oznacza wybraną specjalizację. Cyfra osiągnięty poziom doświadczenia, który stanowi wypadkową przebiegu służby, wyników technicznych oraz pochwał. WKZ korzysta ze wszystkich 26 liter alfabetu oraz cyfr od 1 do 7. N to litera oznaczająca personel służby specjalnych. Wydarzenia historyczne. Dobra. Rok 2069, posterunek Armstrong przy kraterze Shackletona to pierwsza ludzka osada na Księżycu. Formalnie zostaje założona 20 lipca, w 100. rocznicę pierwszego lądowania księżycowego. 2103, Lowell City w Ios Czasma to pierwsza ludzka osada na Marsie. 2137 korporacja Eidfell Ashland Energy demonstruje technikę uzyskiwania paliwa Hel-3 z atmosfery Saturna. 2142 rozpoczyna się budowa stacji Gagarina Skok Zero przez orbitę Plutona. 2148 badacze odkrywają proteańskie ruiny na Prometei Planum na Marsie. 2149 przetłumaczenie proteańskich danych prowadzi ludzi do przekaźnika Harona. Przymierze systemów zostaje powołane, by koordynować badania i kolonizację światów poza Układem Słonecznym. 2151. Katastrofa w międzynarodowym porcie kosmicznym w Singapurze powoduje, że wiatr przenosi pierwiastek zero w formie pyłu nad tereny zamieszkiwane. Przymierze rozpoczyna budowę stacji Arcturus. 2152. Około 30% dzieci urodzonych w Singapurze cierpi na nowotwory po wystawieniu na działanie pierwiastka zero. Przymierze systemów rozpoczyna zasiedlanie pierwszej kolonii ziemskiej poza Układem Słonecznym, planety Demeter. 2154. Rodzi się komandor Shepard. 2155. Przymierze systemów zajmuje ukończone części stacji Arcturus, tworząc zeń centrum dowodzenia. 2156. Niektóre z singapurskich dzieci wykazują śladowe zdolności telekinezy. 2157 dochodzi do spotkania ludzkich badaczy z Turianami. Wojna pierwszego kontaktu, okupacja i wyzwolenie ludzkiej kolonii Shaanxi. 2158 ludzkość odkrywa potencjał biotyki. Rozpoczyna się międzynarodowa akcja śledzenia przypadków wystawienia na działanie pierwiastka 0. Około 10% dzieci wystawionych na jego działanie wykazuje mniejszy lub większy poziom zdolności biotycznych. 2160 utworzono Parlament Przymierza Systemów. 2165 ludzie ustanawiają placówkę dyplomatyczną na Cytadeli. 2170 batariańscy łowcy niewolników atakują Mindoir, kolonię Przymierza. 2176 Skyliański Blitz, piraci i łowcy niewolników atakują Elysium, ludzką stolicę na skyliańskim pograniczu. 2177 miażdży paszcza atakują Akuzę, kolonię Przymierza. 2178 w odwecie za Skyliański Blitz flota Przymierza rozbija w pył armię łowców niewolników na księżycu Torfan. 2183 dzień dzisiejszy. Nic nie mam więcej.
Yes, Commander? Is there something you need?
Mam pytanie osobiste.
How did you end up serving on an Alliance ship?
I enlisted right out of med school. Earth always seemed boring to me. Too safe, too secure. I figured the colonies were teeming with exotic adventure. I wanted to travel the stars, tending the wounds of tough soldiers with piercing eyes and sensitive souls. Turns out military life isn't quite as romantic as I'd imagined. But humanity needs the Alliance if we want to keep expanding through the Traverse, and the Alliance always needs good doctors. So I stayed on to do my part.
Nie żałowaliście?
Ever think you made the wrong choice?
Sometimes I think about opening a private practice back on Earth, or maybe taking a position at one of the new med centers out in the colonies. But there's something special about working on soldiers. If I left the Alliance now, I'd feel like I was abandoning them.
Kajda na lęku.
How well do you know the lieutenant?
I'd never worked with him before this mission, but he has an impressive service record, over a dozen special commendations. Tends to keep to himself, though. Maybe because of the headaches. It's not easy being an L2.
L2?
What does that have to do with it?
Well, most biotics now use the L3 implants. Lieutenant Alenko was wired with the old L2 configuration. Sometimes there are complications.
Uwikłania?
What kind of complications?
Severe mental disabilities, insanity, crippling physical pain. There's a long list of horrific side effects. Caden's lucky. He just gets migraines.
Do widzenia.
I should go.
Goodbye, Commander.
Pojedziemy windą. Witaj, Rex.
Nice ship you've got, Shepard. What can I do for you?
Pytanie osobiste.
What's your story, Rex?
There's no story. Go ask the Quarian if you want stories.
Jak sobie chcesz.
So long, Rex.
Shepard.
Commander?
Możemy porozmawiać?
Do you have a few minutes to talk? One-on-one?
I'm sorry, Commander. I need to get my duties squared away. I wouldn't mind talking more later, though.
Jak nam idzie?
What's your opinion of the last mission?
Kinda wish you'd got there sooner, Commander. No offense, I appreciate the rescue. I just wish...
Żebyśmy ocalili twoją jednostkę.
You wish we'd been able to save the rest of your unit.
Yes, ma'am. If I had been more alert, we wouldn't have been cut down by an ambush.
Nie mogłeś wiedzieć.
We never trained to fight synthetics. The Geth haven't gone beyond the Veil in 3 centuries.
Our training's supposed to make us able to adapt. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
Do widzenia.
Dismissed, Chief.
Ma'am.
Garus.
Thanks for bringing me on board, Commander. I knew working with the Spectre would be better than life at CSEC.
Widziałeś?
Have you worked with the Spectre before?
Well, no, but I know what they're like. Spectres make their own rules. You're free to handle things your way. At CSEC, you're buried by rules. The damn bureaucrats are always on your back.
Nie jest tak źle.
For the most part, the rules are there for a reason.
Maybe. But sometimes it feels like the rules are only there to stop me from doing my work. If I'm trying to take down a suspect, it shouldn't matter how I do it, as long as I do it. But CSEC wants it done their way. Protocol and procedure come first. That's why I left.
To był powód?
So you just quit because you didn't like the way they do things?
There's more to it than that. It didn't start out bad, but as I rose in ranks, I got saddled with more and more red tape. CSEC's handling of Saren was typical. I just couldn't take it anymore. I hate leaving.
To trudna decyzja.
I hope you made the right choice. I'd hate for you to regret it later.
Well, that's sort of why I teamed up with you. It's a chance for me to get off the Citadel, see how things are done outside CSEC. Either way, I plan to make the most of this. And without CSEC headquarters looking over my shoulder, well, maybe I can get the job done my way for a change.
Jak chcesz.
Just do a good job and don't get in my way. We'll get along fine.
Don't worry, Commander. I'll keep clear.
Hey, Commander. Looking for some extra supplies before you head up?
Zaopatrzenie?
What have you got?
Whatever you want. Armor, weapons, mods. It's not standard Alliance issue, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Well, as long as you don't mind paying for it.
Płacić tobie?
Why should I pay you for my weapons and armor?
My stuff doesn't come from the Alliance. I have to purchase it myself, and it's not cheap. Hell, the licenses alone have set me back more than I'd like. But no licenses, no goods. Without the goods, I'm out of a job.
Opowiedz mi o tych licencjach.
What are licenses? Why do you need them?
Manufacturers sell licenses. Each license allows me to buy and sell a certain brand of products. I already have several basic ones, but you'll need to buy more if you want me to bring in different brands. Many of the best licenses are hard to get, but they're well worth the cost if you can find them.
Pokaż.
Let's see what you got.
You bet, Commander.
Na razie tak nie stać.
Looking for supplies?
Powiedz mi o tych nowych przedmiotach.
How often will you get new items?
Well, that depends on how many licenses you've purchased. But I'll rotate items on a regular basis regardless. And anytime we land someplace with a big enough port, I'll buy, sell, and trade whatever I can. Check back often. I need to move items quickly, so only the most basic items will be stocked consistently.
Może później.
Not right now, thanks.
No problem. Keep checking back.
O, Tali.
Your ship's amazing, Shepard. I've never seen a drive core like this before. I can't believe you were able to fit it into a ship this small. I'm starting to understand why you humans have been so successful. I had no idea Alliance vessels were so advanced.
To wyjątkowy statek.
The Normandy's a prototype, cutting-edge technology.
A month ago, I was patching a makeshift fuel line into a converted tug ship in the flotilla. Now, I'm sitting on board one of the most advanced vessels in Citadel space. I have to thank you again for bringing me along. Traveling on a vessel like this is a dream come true for me.
Interesują cię statki?
I had no idea you found ship technology so interesting.
It comes with being a Quarian. The migrant fleet is the key to the survival of my people. Ships are our most valuable resource. But we don't have anything like this. We make do with cast-offs and second-hand equipment. We just try to keep them running for as long as we can. Some of the fleet's larger vessels date all the way back to our original flight from the Geth.
To było 300 lat temu.
I can't believe your fleet's still using ships that are 3 centuries old.
They're constantly being repaired, modified, and refitted. They aren't pretty, but they work, mostly. We've tried to make ourselves as independent as possible on the flotilla, grow our own food, mine, and process our own fuel. But some things we just can't make on our own. A patch to maintain the hull integrity requires raw materials we just don't have. That's why our pilgrimages are so important.
Opowiedz mi o Quarianach.
Tell me about your people.
Our lives aren't easy. Resources are scarce, and we are constantly on the move. Everything we do must in some way contribute to the continuation of the migrant fleet. There are 17 million Quarians in the flotilla, and each of us relies on the others for survival. The bonds among my people are strong. Unfortunately, we have had to surrender many of the freedoms and civil liberties other species take for granted.
Na przykład?
What kind of freedoms?
Well, it's illegal for parents to have more than one child. If our population grows too much, it would strain our resources to their breaking point. Of course, we also can't allow our numbers to become too few. If our population is in decline, the rule against single births is temporarily repealed. In extreme cases of population decline, incentives are even offered to encourage multiple births, though the Conclave hasn't had to take such measures in nearly a century.
Konklawę?
That's your government.
The Conclave is our civilian branch of government. Each ship can elect a representative to serve on the Conclave and make decisions that affect the fleet as a whole. On matters that affect an individual ship, however, the captain has the final say. It's a tradition that dates back to the early days, when the fleet was governed by martial law. Fortunately, most captains nowadays are smart enough to have an elected council from their crew to give them advice and guidance.
Macie demokrację?
So the ultimate power rests with elected officials?
In practice, the Conclave and the respective council for each ship tend to set the rules that govern our daily lives. But in theory, we are still under military jurisdiction. The 5 top-ranking military officials in the fleet serve on the Admiralty Board. These 5 have the power to overrule any decision by the Conclave in case of emergency. To do so requires unanimous agreement among the Admiralty, and they can only do this once. After that, the entire board must resign their posts. It's a safeguard that served us well. In nearly 3 centuries, the Admiralty Board has only overruled the Conclave 4 times.
Powiedz mi o getach.
I want to know more about the Geth.
I doubt I can tell you anything you don't already know. It's been almost 3 centuries since they drove my people into exile. All I know is the story of their origins, what they were when we created them, and how they turned on us.
Opowiedz mi o tym.
Interesting.
The Geth were originally created to serve as an automated manual labor force. Initially, their intelligence was as limited as any VI. Over time, we made small modifications to their programming to allow them to perform more varied and complex tasks, bringing them closer and closer to true AI status.
Czy badania nad sztuczną inteligencją nie są nielegalne?
How come the council didn't step in and stop you?
This wasn't true AI research. We may have been skirting the bounds of the law, but we never did anything that was actually illegal. The changes were so insignificant, so gradual, that we were able to control them. Or so we thought. But one thing we underestimated was the power of the neural network. A million Geth thinking simultaneously created an inherently unstable matrix.
Sieć neuronowa?
So the Geth share brain power?
Many of the Geth's logic systems were designed to work in concert with other nearby Geth. Basically, the more of them you have in the group, the smarter they are.
Coś jak wspólny umysł.
So there's some sort of group consciousness.
No, nothing like that. They cannot share sensory data or information. Their programming cannot handle that much simultaneous input. Each Geth maintains an individual awareness and identity. The neural network only operates on a process-based level. It's basically the synthetic equivalent of a subconscious. But when they're in close proximity, they can coordinate low-level functional processes, freeing up more capacity for original or independent thought.
Nie rozumiem.
That doesn't make any sense.
I'm probably oversimplifying. The Geth are incredibly advanced and complex creations. All you need to know is that they get smarter when they gather in large numbers. As we built more and more Geth, their effective intelligence became more sophisticated, more abstract. One day, a Geth began to ask its Quarian overseer questions about the nature of its existence. Am I alive? Why am I here? What is my purpose? As you can imagine, this caused a near panic among my people.
Dlaczego?
I don't see what's so bad about those questions.
The Geth were created to engage in mundane, repetitive, or dangerous manual labor. That's fine for machines, but it won't satisfy a sentient being for long. The Geth were showing signs of rudimentary self-awareness and independent thought. If the Geth were intelligent, then we were essentially using them as slaves. It was inevitable the newly sentient Geth would rebel against their situation. We knew they would rise up against us, so we acted first. A general order went out across all Quarian-controlled systems to permanently deactivate all Geth. The Geth responded to this order violently.
Broniły się.
Hey, you can't blame them for fighting for their survival.
We had no other choice. The Geth were already on the verge of revolution. By acting quickly, we had a chance to end the war before it began. The hope was that most of the Geth would still be little more than machines, incapable of organized resistance. But they had progressed much further than anyone anticipated. The war was long and bloody. Millions upon millions of Quarians died at their hands. In the end, we were forced to flee our own homeworld. We feared the Geth would pursue us, but they never came beyond the Veil. Now we drift through space, exile searching for a way to reclaim what was once ours.
Opowiedz mi o pielgrzymce.
I want to know more about the pilgrimage.
When my people reach maturity, we leave our birth ships and seek acceptance with a new crew. It's necessary to maintain genetic diversity among the fleet. But no ship wants to accept someone who will be a burden on them. So, to prove our worth, we embark on a pilgrimage. We set out alone, leaving the flotilla and our families behind us. We only return once we have found something of value we can bring back to the fleet. This is presented as a gift to the captain of the respective ship we wish to join. If the gift is accepted, we are welcomed into the crew.
Czy prezent jest zawsze akceptowany?
Can a captain choose to reject the gift?
That doesn't happen often. Most captains are eager to increase the size of their crew. It increases their own standing in our society. Even when a gift is not particularly valuable, the captain usually accepts it out of a sense of tradition. However, there is a stigma to presenting a substandard gift. It's not the best way to make a good impression on a new community. Most pilgrims don't return until they find something worthwhile.
Brzmi niebezpiecznie.
I can't believe they just send you off alone.
It's not like they just cast us out. Before we leave, we are given lessons in how to survive outside the flotilla, and given gifts to help us on our journey. We also receive implants to fight off sickness and disease. Generations of living in an isolated and highly controlled environment have left our immune systems weaker than most. By the time we leave the fleet, we are well equipped for the pilgrimage. This is a rite of passage for all Quarians. If it were dangerous, our numbers would suffer. Virtually every pilgrimage ends with a triumphant return and the ritual presentation of the gift to one of the fleet's captains.
Zmieńmy temat.
I want to talk about something else.
Like what?
Do widzenia.
I should go.
See you later.
Hey, Commander, you know that Quarian, Tali? She's been spending all her time down here asking me about our engines.
Przeszkadza ci?
I'll tell her to leave you alone.
What? No, she's amazing. I wish my guys were half as smart as she is. Give her a month on board and she'll know more about our engines than I do. She's got a real knack for technology, that one. I can see why you wanted her to come along.
Jest przydatna.
I figured she'd be a real asset to the team.
You got an eye for Tali, Commander, but I'm guessing that's not why you came down here.
Opowiedz mi o systemie maskującym.
Fill me in on the IES stealth system. How does it work exactly?
You can't hide a ship out in space. They emit too much heat and radiation. Too easy for sensors to pick them up, unless you find a way to capture those emissions. So our stealth systems trap the energy we give off in storage sinks built into the ship itself. No emissions to give away our location. Eventually the sinks have to be vented. More than a few hours silent running and they overheat. Cook us inside our own hull.
Więc jesteśmy niewidzialni?
There's no way for anyone to detect us?
A visual scan can still pick us up. Anyone looking out a window can see us plain as day. But you have to be pretty close to get an actual visual out in space. Most vessels rely on scanners. As long as the stealth systems are engaged, they can't see us. Not unless we accelerate to FTL speeds.
Prędkość nadświetlana zdradza?
Why doesn't it work with faster than light travel?
Cranking up the FTL blue shifts our emissions, pushes them into frequencies too high to capture in the sinks. As soon as we make the jump, it's like setting off a flare. Sensors can pick up our location whenever we enter or exit FTL flight, but for short-range missions, our stealth systems are amazing, and we've got the only one.
Pytanie osobiste.
Where else have you served, Adams?
If you name a class of Alliance ship, I've probably served on it. Everything from dreadnoughts and carriers right down to frigates like the Normandy. My last assignment was on the Tokyo, only a cruiser, but she was a good ship. Couldn't hold a candle to the Normandy, though.
Opowiedz mi o Normandii.
I want to know more about the Normandy.
She's the best ship I've ever served on, probably the fastest vessel ever designed. And she's the only one using the new Tantalus drive core.
Silnik rdzeniowy?
What's so special about the Tantalus drive core?
Proportionally, it's about twice the size of any other vessel. Not only are we faster, we can run at FTL speeds longer before we have to discharge the core.
Do widzenia.
Carry on, Adams.
Aye, aye, Commander.
Dobra. To już wszystko w dzisiejszym odcinku. Dziękuję Wam za obejrzenie. Do zobaczenia w kolejnym odcinku.